Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to the first Bad Deck Monday we have with X and Y, and this should be a fun deck. I think this is the deck that people asked for the most, so we're going to start with this one. It's going to be Kingdra Greninja. I don't know what to call the deck. Maybe Kinginja, Greninja, I don't know. Anyway, the deck revolves around these two Stage 2 Pokemon, which is why it's on Bad Deck Monday. You have to get a bunch of Stage 2s into play, so it's naturally going to be very slow and clunky. But it revolves around Greninja's Water Shuriken. Once during your turn, you may discard a Water Energy from your hand, and if you do, put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So there's actually a very cool ability, but it is on a Stage 2, so it's difficult to get into play. Mist Slash also does 50 for 1 energy, and it's not affected by weakness, resistance, or anything else. Not a very great attack. 50 for 1 is actually solid, don't get me wrong, but that's its only attack. That's all it can do is 50 damage. That's kind of weak. But we're definitely using it for Water Shuriken to get water energy in the discard pile, put damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon, so we can power up Kingdra, who has Dragon Vortex. Does 20 damage times the number of water and lightning energy in your discard pile, and then you shuffle all those cards back into your deck. So we're trying to get energy in the discard pile with Water Shuriken, and then power up Dragon Vortex to do big amounts of damage. And then once we get set up, we should be able to knock out Pokemon very quickly. Between these two Pokemon, Water Shuriken putting damage on your opponent's Pokemon, and also getting energy in the discard, and then Dragon Vortex doing big damage. We also have Tri-Bullet, which is a pretty underrated attack. For 1 water, does 30 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon. That's actually pretty darn strong. Basically 90 damage for 1 energy, and that's pretty good, and you get to spread to multiple spots, so that works very well. Kingdra and Greninja actually have a lot of synergy. Just the fact that they're both Stage 2 Pokemon makes them difficult to use together. Now, since we need to constantly be having water energy to discard, I'm going to throw in a line of Electrode as well to Magnetic Draw, and keep a constant flow of cards coming even late in the game, so we can keep discarding water energy every turn with Water Shuriken. So we have a 4-2-4 Greninja line. It's definitely difficult to fit in 2 Stage 2 lines into a deck, especially when you want tons of them out. So we only have a 4-1-4 Kingdra line. I would like a second Seadra in here, but again, it's tough. You need to clear out room for some other stuff in here. For the supporters, we have 4 N, and 4 Juniper, 2 Skyla, and 2 Colress, and then also 2 Tropical Beach, because we have so much setting up to do. Otherwise, nothing too fancy. We got a Tool Scrapper, Super Rod, Ultra Balls, and Level Balls. A nice card here is Professor's Letter, an item card that allows you to search for up to 2 basic energy cards, so this is instant fuel for your Greninja. And then an Escape Rope, since we could probably use a switching card at some point. And then we have 11 water energy. Ideally, you would want more, but again, we have to commit a lot of space to our Stage 2 Pokemon. So that is what the deck looks like, and let's take a look at a game I played with the deck. It is, again, a very clunky deck, so we'll see how it works here. Now, we're starting off with a Froakie, cute little Pokemon. We got a Frogadier in the hand, and it looks like we're going first against a Virizion Genesect deck. So we'll see what happens in this game. So I'm going to start off with a Level Ball, probably going for a Horsey. We're just going to take a look mainly to see what's prized here. And I'm going to grab the Horsey right there, throw that down, and I could Escape Rope to bring the Deoxys out, but really doesn't do anything. Looks like we're facing a Virizion Genesect deck, probably. So that deck doesn't really do anything until the second turn anyway, so disrupting with the Escape Rope, probably not necessary. We do see the N, so my hand gets shuffled in. That's pretty good, because my hand was not good at all. All I had was a Colress, which was going to give me 2 cards. I was going to get some evolutions out right away, but that doesn't really help too much. I mean, when you're only drawing 2 cards off a chorus, you can have your stage 2 Pokemon out, but they don't really do much. Anyway, now we have a much better hand, and I have to decide what do I want to level ball for in this situation. My opponent kindly put a Sky Arrow Bridge into place, so I will be able to just retreat for free. Froakie does have 50 HP, and it's also weak to grass, so I don't want any of my grass weak Pokemon up there taking a hit from Emerald Slash, because they'll get knocked out. So we can retreat right to Horsey, and then Rare Candy into the Greninja, turn 2, pretty nice. And then we can play an end for a fresh 6 cards. Get the Voltorb down, so next turn we can get Electrode going. And then we can Water Shuriken right away and put 30 on the benched Genesect EX just to soften that up for when it comes out. And we can also Smoke Screen here. This is kind of a strange thing. I don't do any damage, but Smoke Screen, this goes all the way back to base set. If your opponent flips tails for Smoke Screen, they don't get to attack. So we could potentially stop an Emerald Slash here, thanks to Seedra's Smoke Screen. That would be a really big win for us to stop that energy acceleration. And another N, that's nice. We get another fresh 6 cards there. I'm trying to think if Smoke Screen was actually in base set. I know Sand Attack was. Smoke Screen might have waited till Fossil, but that is neither here nor there. As we see a Chorus Machine onto Genesect EX, and Tails goes Seedra. Seedra stops the Emerald Slash. Oh man, that's hilarious. And we get another Rare Candy into a second Greninja. So this deck is really flowing well right now. We get another Water Shuriken. We still have 1 left potentially if we draw another Water Energy this turn. And we do. We get a pretty darn good hand, I must say. And let's see. I probably don't have enough to use Kingdra's attack to get a knockout. I can Water Shuriken, and we can put another 30 somewhere. I'm just kind of spreading damage out to try to get one-hit knockouts when the time comes. But I'm going to Ultra Ball here. I don't want to discard Rare Candy since those are so essential for this deck. I could get a Kingdra here, but I won't have anything for next turn, so we're just going to grab Electrode so we can Magnetic Draw for 2, hopefully get a Kingdra. But nope, looks like we're going to swing and miss on that one, and then Smoke Screen for 0. Now, I could have put a Horsey down there, but I like having as many Greninja in play as possible. So we're going to save that bench spot for another Froakie, even though I did discard one off that Ultra Ball. I needed a second Horsey down just in case the Seedra does get knocked out. We could see Energy Switch or something like that, and then a Megalo Cannon could take me down. So I want to make sure Horsey comes down, definitely. But from here, let's see what happens. The Muscle Band goes on to Virizion EX and another Tails, so Smoke Screen is absolutely owning Virizion EX right now. That is pretty comical, I must say. But now I got to figure out what the heck I should do. We do have an Ultra Ball, so that can allow me to grab a Kingdra here, and let's see. I can Skyla for a Professor's Letter, and if I do that, then we could get enough energy in the discard pile to use Dragon Vortex and get a knockout on this Virizion EX. So you can see the combo here with Greninja and Kingdra. It's pretty cool. Let's see. What is the best way to play this out, though? Let's see. We do have 4 energy in the discard pile. So if we get 6, I do get a knockout. I'm actually going to Dowsing Machine for Super Rod here instead of going for the Skyla for Professor's Letter, because I have so much stuff in the discard pile already that I feel like I need to get that in the deck. And then we'll probably draw 2 water off the Juniper, and we did. This is actually a fairly complicated deck to use because there's so much stuff going on, so much math. Placing the damage with Water Shuriken can be complicated. Making sure you don't run out of resources all the time. It's actually a very tricky deck. It might not seem like it, but it definitely is. And now we can Dragon Vortex for 120 damage and take down the Virizion EX. But I am a little vulnerable here. I don't have a backup Kingdra at this point. So if this active one were to go down, I may be in some trouble. Say a G-Booster, if that were to come out right now, I may be in some deep doo-doo because I may not have an attacker on the following turn. And Genesect could just kind of run through me after that. And also, Megalo Cannon is doing 120 thanks to Deoxys EX, so a Muscle Bane would even be a knockout. But wow, just a Megalo Cannon. I was fortunate to survive the turn right here. And we'll see if we can capitalize on this. I do have a Chorus for 9. And, if we get enough water energy, we can Water Shuriken. We could do that twice. And let's see. Can I actually get a knockout here? I think I could, if I play my cards right. So yeah, we can Water Shuriken, and then Water Shuriken a second time onto the Genesect. So you can see the damage adds up very quickly. Now I have two things I could do here. I can Rare Candy into Kingdra, Retreat, and then Dragon Vortex for the knockout. That's probably not the right thing to do. My opponent does have 50 HP left. So I can actually just use Mist Slash with Greninja and take a knockout that way. Looks like I didn't see that at the time. So I just want to use Dragon Vortex because it looks cooler. And we're actually going to knock out EXs in back-to-back turns because we have 4 Stage 2 Pokemon in play. And that's how we roll. So Kingdra Greninja is getting the job done right now against Virizion Genesect, one of the top archetypes in the game. Oh, baby. So can we seal the deal at this point? My opponent plays a Shadow Triad for a Plasma Energy. I don't know what this is actually going to do. Looks like a Red Signal is going to bring out Electrode. That's a little confusing. But my opponent is in a pretty difficult spot at this point. Down 4 prizes, not too much energy in play, no grass energy in play. This is just worst case scenario for my opponent. And Kingdra is putting on all sorts of pressure here, along with Greninja. And the cool thing is, Dragon Vortex shuffles the water energy back into your deck. So you never really run out of water energy. You are always just getting them back, and that means every turn you can just Water Shuriken again, and you have an unlimited supply of water energy, basically, as long as you're using Dragon Vortex. So a concern with Greninja would be, oh, I'm going to run out of water energy. I can't use the ability anymore. But look at my deck. Oh, it's full of stuff. That's a lot of blue in there. So we can Professor's Letter here and take 2 energy. I'm just going to check to see what else is in here, as we do have an Ultra Ball and some other stuff. So, Professor's Letter, and going to take 2 water, obviously. And then Water Shuriken hit something for 3 damage counters. I'm just going to hit the active, since we can probably hit that for a pretty solid amount of damage this turn. And I could Skyla or N. I don't think Skyla is going to do much. And that's a pretty awesome N to 2 for me because I can just Magnetic Draw and draw up to 4. We got some water energy for next turn, and things are looking pretty awesome. Let's see. I'm not sure how many water are in there right now. Looks like 3. So we can do 60 damage, which might not seem like much. But now that Virizion EX only has 50 HP left. And we can actually just Water Shuriken twice to win. You can run, but you can't hide from the Water Shuriken of Greninja. And unless my opponent has a max potion here, we've actually won the game with Kingdra Greninja. This is kind of a fun deck to play, kind of a cool deck. But I don't see it being actually viable for tournament play, and that's why we're here on Bad Deck Monday. But definitely a fun deck to use to see how much damage you can add up as quickly as possible. Most of the time, you're probably going to get run over before you get a chance to set up, but sometimes you can smoke screen your way to buying a few turns, and who knows what happens. We're going to see a Chorus Machine. We see a Venusaur EX. All sorts of crazy stuff's going on here. I don't know what's up. But a Chorus Machine fails, so we're going to Water Shuriken, put 30 on the bench for his EX, and I could just Tri-Ball it, but we're going to make it even simpler, and Water Shuriken for the win. And, I don't know, Kingdra Greninja. What do you guys think? It's an interesting deck, to say the least. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will certainly have some more for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.